Hi everyone, welcome to EduTalks. Don't forget to subscribe to get daily tips to improve your English. Today I want to share a short story with you and at the same time introduce some simple everyday English sentences that can make your speech sound natural. Let's imagine a regular day in my life. The alarm chimes softly, pulling me from a deep sleep. It's a new day. And while a part of me wishes for a few more minutes of rest, I know it's time to begin. I stretch slowly, feeling the stiffness in my muscles, and think to myself, I will make today a productive and positive one. The first thoughts of the day are important. They set the tone for everything that follows. I swing my legs out of bed and pad quietly to the kitchen. The morning light filters through the blinds, casting long shadows across the floor. The coffee machine, my faithful companion, awaits its morning duty. I press the button and say aloud, "A strong coffee is exactly what I need to feel awake and ready." As the rich aroma fills the kitchen, I look out the window. The city is already stirring. I see people hurrying along the sidewalk, briefcases in hand, their breath misting in the cool morning air. A light drizzle begins to fall, and I whisper, I hope I remember my umbrella. I don't want to arrive at the office soaking wet. My dog, curled up on his bed, opens one eye and wags his tail lazily. I give him a gentle pat, pick up my bag, and say, "Be good while I'm away. I'll see you this evening." These small spoken rituals are simple, but they ground me and connect me to my home. Stepping outside, I feel the crisp air on my face. I meet my neighbor David, who is also leaving for work. We exchange pleasantries. He says, "Good morning. All set for the day?" I smile and reply, "Good morning. I believe so. It should be a busy one, but I'm prepared." These brief, everyday exchanges are the fabric of our social lives. They require no complex vocabulary, just a genuine and polite response. They help us build and maintain connections with the people around us. When I reach the office, I greet my colleagues with a warm and friendly tone. "Hello, everyone. I hope you all had a refreshing weekend," I say as I walk to my desk. I settle in, take a deep breath, and remember the important tasks ahead. I think to myself, I should review my notes for the morning meeting to ensure I am fully prepared and can contribute effectively. This simple act of mental preparation builds confidence. Throughout the morning, I find myself using short, essential sentences that make communication clear and efficient. "Could you please share the sales report when you have a moment?" Or, "I apologize, I didn't quite understand that point." "Could you please clarify?" These phrases are not elaborate, but they are powerful. They ensure understanding, show respect for others' time, and keep the workflow smooth. They are the building blocks of professional communication. At my first coffee break, I chat with a coworker. I ask, "I've been curious. Have you had a chance to visit the new park downtown?" She nods and says, "Yes, I went for a walk there on Sunday." "It's beautifully landscaped and very peaceful." I respond naturally. "That's wonderful to hear. I'll have to make time to see it for myself." This is how real, natural English is used in these spontaneous, simple conversations about everyday life. Learning these patterns and practicing them until they feel automatic is the key to speaking with ease. Even in the smallest moments, from saying goodbye to a pet, greeting a neighbor, asking a quick question, or sharing a casual chat, the sentences we choose are significant. They allow us to express ourselves clearly, sound polite and considerate, and build our confidence one interaction at a time. Using straightforward, natural language is the most effective way to make your English ready for daily use. Every single day, without even realizing it, we speak hundreds of these sentences. Some are more important than others, but each one serves a purpose: to share a thought, express a feeling, or describe an action. When we consciously learn these common sentences and practice them, speaking English becomes less of a struggle and more of a natural, fluid process. It's crucial to remember that fluency is not about using long, complicated, or obscure words. It's about knowing the right thing to say and how to say it at the appropriate moment. This is the foundation for speaking English naturally and with assurance, clear and confident. After my coffee break, I return to my desk and see that several new emails have arrived. I say to myself, I need to prioritize and respond to these messages before they become urgent. I open the first one, which is from a client inquiring about a project timeline. I read it carefully and then type my response. Thank you for your email. I have reviewed the current status and will provide a comprehensive update by this afternoon. I always strive to use language that is both polite and professional in my written communication. This approach helps maintain strong, positive relationships and demonstrates respect for the other person's inquiries. The next email is from a teammate asking if I can review a document. I take a moment to consider my schedule and then write, I would be happy to assist with that. I will review the document and provide my feedback once I have completed my current task. Sending clear, helpful messages like this makes me feel organized and ensures that my communication is effective and leaves no room for misunderstanding. As I finish sending the email, my phone rings. It's my friend Sophia, and she sounds enthusiastic. She says, Jara, I have some exciting news. Do you have a few minutes to talk? I respond warmly, yes, of course I have time now. Please tell me all about it. She explains that she has managed to get reservations at a very popular new restaurant for this weekend. I say, that's fantastic news. I would love to join you. What time is our reservation? We continue our conversation, and I use practical, natural sentences to help us make plans. Would you like me to pick you up, or shall we meet directly at the restaurant? And I can bring my camera to take some photos if that's all right with you. Using language in this way, to coordinate suggest and offer, makes me sound friendly, thoughtful, and organized. Sophia appreciates this clear and considerate communication, and it makes arranging our social outing simple and straightforward. Later in the morning, I have a scheduled team meeting. Before I enter the conference room, I take a brief moment to remind myself of my goals. I will introduce my ideas with confidence, and I will listen attentively to the contributions of my colleagues. During the discussion, my manager asks for my perspective on a new marketing approach. I respond by saying I believe this strategy has a lot of potential for success. However, I think we should also take some time to consider any potential challenges and brainstorm ways we can address them proactively. I make a conscious effort to structure my sentences so they are both clear and polite, ensuring that everyone in the room can easily follow my train of thought. After I have shared my initial ideas, I make sure to pay close attention to the suggestions put forward by my teammates. I contribute to the collaborative atmosphere by saying things like, "That is an excellent point. Perhaps we could find a way to integrate both of our ideas for a stronger outcome. Or I understand your perspective. Maybe we can adjust the timeline to make it more achievable." Using simple, direct sentences in a meeting context allows me to communicate in a professional and self-assured manner. It also makes it significantly easier for others to understand my points and for us to work together productively as a team. When the meeting concludes, I feel a sense of accomplishment. I think to myself, I managed my responsibilities well today, and I communicated my thoughts clearly with both clients and my colleagues. I gather my notebook and laptop feeling ready to move on to the next task. As I walk back to my desk, I reflect on how these small, everyday sentences, whether used in emails, phone calls, or formal meetings, help me remain organized, polite, and confident in my abilities. Speaking English effectively is not a matter of using the most complex vocabulary you can find. It is about using the right sentences at the right time, and doing so clearly and naturally. Even seemingly simple sentences like, "May I assist you with that? Let's convene at 3 p.m. or I will send the file by the end of the day," can have a profound impact on how you are perceived by others. Regular daily practice with these kinds of sentences helps me sound confident, approachable, and professional. Every single day is filled with countless opportunities to speak English clearly and naturally. From writing replies to emails, to making plans with friends, to offering opinions in a business meeting, using polite and straightforward sentences, makes all communication easier and more effective. By paying close attention to the language we use, and by practicing it frequently, English transforms from a subject to be studied into a practical and even enjoyable tool for daily life. During the team meeting, I observed that using complete, well-formed sentences helped me to express my ideas with a professional tone. It also encouraged my colleagues to engage seriously with my contributions. When a teammate asked a specific question about the project deadline, I was able to answer with precision. I said, "Based on our current progress and schedule, I estimate we can complete this phase of the project within 4 weeks, provided we do not encounter any significant unforeseen obstacles." There were nods of agreement around the table, and I felt confident knowing that my communication had been transparent and easy to understand. After the meeting, I return to my workspace and take a few minutes to organize my remaining tasks for the day. I say to myself, I need to identify my top priorities and address them first, so I don't begin to feel overwhelmed later in the afternoon. I create a brief to-do list, review client feedback, prepare the monthly summary report, schedule the next project check-in, and respond to any remaining messages. As I write down each task, I say it out loud. This technique serves two purposes. It helps cement the tasks in my memory, and it provides excellent practice for my English. First, I will carefully review the client's feedback and ensure I understand all of their comments and requirements. Second, I will prepare a detailed report that summarizes our progress and outlines the next steps. Third, I will schedule the next team meeting to discuss the upcoming milestones. Fourth, I will respond to all pending messages in a polite and clear manner. Speaking my intentions aloud helps me to focus and feel organized, all while practicing natural English in a professional context. Around the middle of the afternoon, I decide it's time for a short break. I stand up, stretch, and walk to the office cafeteria to get a cup of tea. On the way, I meet my colleague, Mark. We start a casual, unplanned conversation. He asks, "Jara, have you sampled the new herbal teas they have in the cafeteria?" I reply, "No, I haven't had the chance to try them yet, but I was just thinking about testing one out today. Do you recommend any?" Mark smiles and says, "The chamomile with honey is particularly good. It's very soothing." I respond in a natural tone, "Thank you for the suggestion." I will definitely try the chamomile then. As we walk together towards the break room, I add, "By the way, are you available for a brief chat later today? I'd like to get your thoughts on the presentation visuals." Mark replies, "Yes, that works for me." Let's meet around 4:30 p.m. Using complete, friendly sentences like these in casual settings helps me sound engaged and organized. It also makes everyday social interactions flow smoothly and politely, strengthening workplace relationships. Later, back at my desk, I continue with my work. I notice that the simple act of organizing my tasks in a logical order and verbally stating them has helped me stay calm and focused. Even short internal sentences like, "I will finish this section of the report first," or "I will reply to these 3 messages now," make a tangible difference in my productivity. Clear and simple communication, even with myself, keeps me on track, efficient, and professional. By the middle of the afternoon, I feel positive about the progress I have made. I think to myself, I have handled my tasks effectively today, And my consistent focus on practicing English is helping me communicate more and more naturally without having to overthink every word. I realize that every single interaction, whether it is with a client, a colleague, or a friend, presents a valuable opportunity to practice and refine my English. Small, polite sentences such as, "Could you please help me with this file?" or "Let's meet for a coffee later to discuss it," make daily life easier and more organized. They are the practical tools of communication. Speaking English clearly does not require a vocabulary filled with complicated words. It is about expressing your ideas in a polite and simple manner, listening carefully to others, and responding in a way that feels natural. Practicing these everyday sentences builds confidence, helps to forge and maintain strong relationships, and integrates English seamlessly into your daily life. Even during small breaks, casual chats in the cafeteria, or while planning for meetings, using clear and complete sentences makes a significant difference. It demonstrates thoughtfulness, professionalism, and a friendly attitude. Making a habit of practicing these sentences every day is what makes English feel easy, natural, and enjoyable. Using sentences like these in casual workplace conversations helps me sound both polite and friendly, while also giving me the chance to practice English in authentic, real-world situations. When I reach the cafeteria, I order my tea and a small snack. I say to the person at the counter, "Hello, I would like a cup of chamomile tea with honey, please, and one of the whole grain muffins. Thank you." After I have paid, I find a quiet table and sit down. I notice a small group of colleagues from a different department chatting at a nearby table. I decide to approach them and ask politely, "Hello, everyone. Would you mind if I joined you for a few minutes?" They smile and gesture for me to sit down. One of them says, "We were just talking about our plans for the upcoming holiday. Do you have anything interesting planned?" I reply, "I am thinking of taking a short trip to the mountains. I've heard the scenery is beautiful at this time of year, and it would be wonderful to spend some time in nature." Then I asked, "Have any of you been there recently?" This simple, everyday exchange is a perfect example of how asking questions and sharing small pieces of information helps to maintain social bonds while simultaneously practicing English. Even short, polite sentences can transform a simple break into a natural and enjoyable conversation. After my break, I return to my desk and notice that my manager has assigned a new task. I read the instructions carefully and think I should ask for clarification on a couple of points before I begin to ensure I complete the task correctly from the start. I send a quick message. "Hello, I have read the instructions for the new assignment. To make sure I am on the right track, could you please confirm the deadline and highlight any specific details you would like me to focus on? Thank you." While I wait for a response, I use the time productively by reviewing my notes and preparing other parts of the project. Using clear, proactive sentences like this is incredibly important in a professional setting because it prevents misunderstandings and keeps the workflow smooth and efficient. Simple, polite communication ensures that tasks are completed correctly and that professional relationships remain positive and collaborative. Throughout the rest of the afternoon, I have several more brief conversations with my colleagues. I make an effort to be helpful and approachable. I ask, "Do you need any assistance with your current task?" When someone does ask for help, I reply, "Yes, of course I can help with that. Let's work on it together and get it finished." At the same time, I also practice polite and professional ways to manage my time when I'm too busy to help immediately. For example, I might say, "I'm sorry, I am unable to assist at this very moment because I need to finish my own priority tasks, but I would be happy to help you later this afternoon if that still works." Using clear and considerate sentences like these allows me to manage my own workload effectively while still maintaining good, supportive relationships with my team. I also practice short, friendly phrases during casual conversations, such as, "How is your day progressing?" "Did you have a chance to finish the budget review?" Or, "We should have lunch together next week." These sentences might seem small and insignificant on their own, but collectively, they make daily communication fluid, natural, and polite. Using them regularly builds confidence and steadily improves my fluency in everyday English. By late afternoon, I feel organized and focused. The habit of speaking and writing clear sentences has helped me complete several key tasks, support my colleagues when possible, and plan the next steps for my projects. These small, consistent actions, asking polite questions, giving helpful and clear replies, or confirming instructions, make a tremendous difference in how work is accomplished and how communication flows throughout the day. Even the shortest sentences, when practiced and used daily, help me sound professional, friendly, and self-assured. They form the very foundation of clear communication in both personal and professional life. By paying close attention to these everyday phrases and by practicing polite ways to ask, answer, or politely decline, I am able to improve my English naturally while I go about my daily responsibilities. Telling a colleague, "I can certainly help you later if you still need it," is a perfect example. Practicing these practical sentences every day helps me sound natural in both professional and casual English contexts. By the time the workday comes to an end, I feel a genuine sense of accomplishment. I gather my personal items and say to myself, "I managed my tasks well today, and I communicated clearly and effectively with everyone I interacted with." Tomorrow, I will focus on continuing this progress. On my way home, I stop at a local grocery store to pick up a few things. I speak to the cashier politely. "Good evening. I would like a loaf of sourdough bread, a carton of free-range eggs, and a bottle of fresh orange juice, please." Using full sentences for these simple, routine tasks helps me practice English in a natural context and reinforces what I have practiced throughout the workday. While I walk the rest of the way home, I think about how important it is to practice English every single day, not just in the office, but in all types of interactions, whether they are big or small. At home, I begin to prepare dinner, and I continue my English practice by narrating my actions aloud to myself. Tonight, I am going to make a chicken and vegetable pasta. First, I will chop the onions, garlic, and bell peppers. Then, I will heat some olive oil in a large pan and saute the vegetables until they are soft and fragrant. After that, I will add the diced chicken and cook it thoroughly. Finally, I will stir in the tomato sauce and seasonings, and then combine everything with the cooked pasta. Speaking aloud in this way helps me practice sentence structure, sequence words, vocabulary related to cooking, and pronunciation, all in a natural and low-pressure environment. After dinner, I relax on the sofa and call my friend Sophia. I start our conversation in a polite and engaging way. "Hi, Sophia. How was your day?" She replies, "It was quite busy, but I was very productive." "How was yours?" I say. "It was a long day at work, but I feel good because I completed all of my most important tasks." We continue to chat about various topics like books, movies, and our weekend plans. I practice expressing my ideas and opinions clearly. I recently read a fascinating book about modern architecture. I think you would find it interesting because it has beautiful photographs and explores some very innovative designs. Sophia responds, "That does sound interesting. I will look it up online. Thank you for the recommendation." Using simple, complete, and polite sentences like this helps me maintain my confidence while speaking English, even during relaxed, casual conversations with friends. By the end of the evening, I take a moment to reflect on the importance of daily, consistent practice. I think to myself, speaking English every day, even in these small integrated ways, is what leads to real noticeable improvement. I can use it at work, at home, and with my friends. Repeating common sentences, narrating my own actions, and actively engaging in conversations makes my English feel more and more natural and confident over time. I also realize that these small, consistent efforts are what truly matter. From writing emails and participating in meetings, to coffee breaks, grocery shopping, cooking dinner, and talking on the phone, every single interaction is a valuable opportunity to practice and use English. Clear, polite, and well-structured sentences help me communicate effectively, stay organized, and build strong, positive relationships with the people around me. Before I go to bed, I make a mental note to continue this productive practice tomorrow. I say to myself, I will keep using English in my daily life. Every day, I will learn and use new sentences, work on improving my pronunciation, and strive to speak with even more confidence. Practicing English daily is what transforms it from a skill into a natural part of your life. It becomes progressively easier to communicate politely, clearly, and confidently with each passing day. These small, consistent steps are what make a significant difference in the long journey toward becoming fluent, professional, and friendly in English. I remind myself that every conversation, every email, and every small, seemingly insignificant interaction is a chance to improve my English skills. Using full sentences, expressing my thoughts in a clear manner, and asking questions naturally are the fundamental keys to sounding confident and fluent. I also tell myself I will continue this practice tomorrow, making a conscious effort to speak English in as many different situations as possible, from work to social interactions to the simple routine tasks I do at home. This mindset is what helps dedicated learners develop genuine confidence, fluency, and clarity in English over time. After finishing my evening call with Sophia, I decide to spend a little time planning for the next day. I sit at my small home desk and open my planner. I say to myself, it is important to set clear priorities and organize my tasks the night before, so that I can manage my day efficiently and without unnecessary stress. I write down each task as a full, complete sentence. This helps me practice my English and ensures I remember everything. First, I will check the progress of the ongoing marketing campaign and compile a summary report. Second, I will respond to any urgent emails that arrive overnight first thing in the morning to ensure smooth communication with our international clients. Third, I will prepare the initial draft of the presentation slides for the client meeting and double-check all the financial data to avoid any mistakes. Fourth, I will call my friend to finalize our weekend plans and decide on the best time and place to meet. Writing each task as a complete sentence helps me practice clear, forward-looking expression and makes it much easier to remember my priorities for the next day. After I have organized my tasks, I make a cup of herbal tea and sit by the window to relax. I observe the quiet street outside and speak to myself, describing what I see in English. It is so peaceful at this time of night. I can use this calm moment to reflect on my day and practice my English by describing everything around me. I notice a neighbor's cat walking carefully along the garden fence. I say aloud, "The cat is moving slowly and deliberately, looking around as if it is exploring its territory." The cat pauses for a moment, then continues its quiet patrol, and I add, "It has stopped and is sniffing the air before continuing on its path." It seems very calm and relaxed, simply enjoying the quiet of the evening. As I continue to observe, I see a few people returning home from late shifts or evening activities. I narrate their actions quietly in English. A woman is carrying a grocery bag and walking quickly, perhaps eager to get home. A man is talking on his phone and smiling, seeming to have a pleasant conversation. Everyone appears a little tired but also peaceful at the end of the day. By describing these simple everyday events, I practice forming descriptive sentences using new vocabulary and speaking in a natural, flowing manner without any pressure or stress. I take a deep, calming breath and reflect on the day that has passed. I say to myself, "Today, I spoke clearly, used polite and effective sentences, and practiced my English in a variety of real-life situations. I completed my work tasks and interacted with colleagues, friends, and even strangers. Every small conversation, no matter how brief, helped me improve just a little bit more." Finally, I take a sip of my tea and think about the future. I remind myself I will continue to use English every single day. I will speak, write, and even think in English whenever I can. Practicing regularly and consistently is what will make me more confident and fluent over time. I feel calm and satisfied with my efforts. Using these small, quiet moments, like planning my tasks for tomorrow or simply watching the world outside my window, helps me practice English naturally while also providing a valuable opportunity for reflection and mental calm. I watch the cat as it jumps down from the fence and disappears into the garden. Observing small details like this and describing them aloud is a fantastic way to improve my vocabulary, my sentence structure, and the natural flow of my speech. I also use this time to practice expressing my own feelings and opinions in English. I feel very relaxed watching this quiet evening scene. I am grateful for a productive day, and I am also excited about the opportunities that tomorrow will bring. Next, I decide to read a short news article online to learn new words and practice my reading and speaking skills. The headline says, "Local volunteers organize cleanup day at City Park." I read the headline aloud and then offer my thoughts. It is so inspiring to see local volunteers working together to improve their community and care for the environment. They are demonstrating both kindness and a strong sense of civic responsibility at the same time. I continue reading the article and make a point of summarizing each paragraph in my own words. The organizers planned the event meticulously, including separate activities for children and adults to ensure everyone could participate. They reached out to local businesses for donations of supplies and used social media platforms to promote the event and reach a wider audience. Then I share my personal opinion on the matter. I think this is a wonderful example of community teamwork and spirit. I should make an effort to participate in similar events in the future, to contribute to my own neighborhood, and meet new people. Summarizing information aloud in full sentences is an excellent practice for advancing your English skills because it simultaneously improves fluency, reading comprehension, and your ability to express complex ideas clearly and concisely. Speaking in this structured way also helps me form longer, more complex sentences naturally and strengthens my confidence when I need to discuss new or unfamiliar topics. After I finish reading, my phone buzzes with a new message from my cousin Leo. He writes, "Jara, are you free for a quick video call? I want to show you a new song I've been working on." I reply politely, "Hi, Leo. Yes, I am free now. Let's connect." During our video call, he plays a short recording of his new composition on the guitar. I listen carefully and then respond, "This is really impressive, Leo. I really like the melody you've created, and the rhythm is very catchy. You have clearly put a lot of creative effort into this piece." He smiles and asks, "Do you have any suggestions for how I could improve it further?" I think about it carefully for a moment and then say, "Perhaps you could experiment with a brief instrumental bridge after the second chorus. It might make the song more dynamic and give it an interesting structural change." Leo nods thoughtfully and thanks me for the feedback. I continue practicing my ability to give constructive advice by using full sentences. Also, You might try varying the intensity of your strumming during the final verse to create a sense of building towards the ending. It could make the conclusion feel even more powerful and satisfying. Sharing advice in a polite and thoughtful manner helps me practice giving clear, articulate opinions in English while remaining friendly and encouraging. After the call ends, I take a moment to reflect on my day as a whole. I think today I used English in so many different and valuable ways. Talking with colleagues, ordering food, narrating my own actions, summarizing a news article, and giving creative feedback. Every single activity provided me with an opportunity to practice a different skill, from expanding my vocabulary and refining my grammar to improving the natural flow of my speech. I feel a quiet sense of pride in the progress I am making. Before I finally go to bed, I decide to plan a few small, specific steps for my English practice tomorrow. I remind myself I will continue speaking English in all possible situations. I will describe what I see around me, ask questions, share my thoughts and opinions, and summarize information using full, complete sentences. Practicing every day, even in these small and simple ways, is what will make me a more confident, fluent, and natural English speaker over time. I take a final deep breath, feel a wave of calm, and say aloud to myself, I am ready for tomorrow. Every conversation, every small interaction is a chance to improve. I will keep learning and practicing my English, no matter what. I suggested to Leo that adding a brief instrumental section could make the song even more engaging for the listener. Using complete and thoughtful sentences and friendly, creative conversations not only helps me communicate my ideas clearly, but also builds my confidence in expressing my opinions and tastes. After the call, I decide to continue my English practice by narrating my personal thoughts and reflections about the day. I speak aloud in a calm and measured tone. Today was a productive and fulfilling day. I managed my tasks efficiently, I helped my colleagues when they needed support, and I communicated clearly in both professional and personal conversations. I also practiced my English continuously, which makes me feel more confident and prepared for any situation I might encounter in the future. I take a moment to reflect on the specific interactions I had. I enjoyed talking to Sophia and making concrete plans for our weekend together. I appreciated that Leo shared his new music with me, and it made me feel happy to be able to offer him helpful and constructive feedback. Each of these conversations required clear sentences, polite expressions, and thoughtful responses, all of which are crucial components of real-life English use. Speaking about my day in this structured way reinforces a natural sentence flow and allows me to practice expressing opinions, gratitude, and ideas in a polite and articulate manner. Next, I decide to prepare a small, healthy snack while continuing to practice my English. I am making a small fruit and yogurt parfait. I narrate each step as I perform it. First, I will wash the blueberries and strawberries thoroughly to make sure they are clean. Then, I will slice the strawberries and a banana into small, bite-sized pieces. I will place a layer of yogurt at the bottom of the glass, then add a layer of the mixed fruit, and finally, I will sprinkle some granola on top for a pleasant crunch. Speaking these steps in full descriptive sentences helps me practice explaining processes clearly and sequentially, which is a useful skill for everything from daily life and work tasks to social situations and giving instructions. While I enjoy my parfait, I decide to watch a short educational video in English about the benefits of mindfulness. I pause the video frequently to summarize the key points aloud. The video explains that practicing mindfulness can help reduce daily stress and improve concentration. It suggests starting with just a few minutes of meditation each day, focusing on your breath, and gently bringing your attention back when your mind wanders. It also emphasizes that consistency is more important than duration, especially when you are just beginning. I then offer my own commentary aloud. I agree that mindfulness is important because it helps me stay centered and manage feelings of being overwhelmed. Taking short, mindful breaks during a busy workday is necessary to maintain mental clarity and energy. Summarizing content and responding to it in full sentences significantly improves my listening comprehension and allows me to practice expressing my own ideas and agreements or disagreements in a natural and coherent way. After the video ends, I reflect once more on my learning journey. I say aloud, "Every day, I practice English in many different and integrated ways. Speaking with colleagues, narrating my own actions, summarizing articles and videos, giving advice, and having friendly conversations. Each of these moments is a valuable opportunity to improve my vocabulary, my sentence structure, and my overall confidence. I can see real progress when I am able to express my thoughts clearly and without hesitation. Before I go to bed, I make a concrete plan for tomorrow. I sit back down at my desk and write down my tasks using full sentences. First, I will review the progress of the ongoing client project and prepare a summary report for the team. Second, I will respond to any urgent emails as soon as I start my workday. Third, I will finalize the presentation slides for the client meeting and double-check all the data for accuracy. Finally, I will call Sophia to confirm our weekend meeting time and location. Writing in full sentences not only helps me remember my tasks, but is also excellent practice for expressing my plans and intentions with clarity. I make a cup of calming herbal tea and sit by the window, observing the quiet night. I describe everything I see and hear aloud. The street is calm and peaceful now. The trees are swaying gently in the night breeze. A few cars pass by slowly, and their headlights reflect softly on the damp pavement. It is so quiet that I can hear the faint chirping of crickets in the distance. Observing and describing my surroundings in such detail is a wonderful way to practice detailed descriptions, expand my descriptive vocabulary, and improve the natural flow of my sentences. I feel grateful for a productive and fulfilling day. I remind myself that every interaction, every small task, and every moment of quiet reflection is a chance to practice and improve my English. Speaking in complete sentences, asking questions, sharing opinions, and narrating actions are the very activities that will help me become a fluent and confident speaker over time. I end the day feeling calm, motivated, and ready to continue my learning journey tomorrow. The next morning, I head to the kitchen to prepare breakfast. I say aloud, "This morning I'm making oatmeal with fresh berries. First, I will measure out half a cup of oats and 1 cup of water into a saucepan. Then I will heat it on the stove, stirring occasionally until it thickens. I will then pour it into a bowl and top it with a handful of mixed berries and a drizzle of honey. I will also pour myself a glass of fresh orange juice. Breakfast is ready, and I will eat it while enjoying a few minutes of quiet calm before I start my workday." Speaking these actions aloud helps me practice sentence structure, sequencing words, and practical vocabulary in a completely natural context. While I eat, I check my daily calendar and review the tasks I planned the night before. I say, "First, I will finish the client report that is due by noon. Second, I will attend the Project Sync Up meeting at 2 p.m. Third, I will respond to any new emails and messages that have come in. Fourth, I will prepare the initial materials for tomorrow's important client presentation. Narrating my daily plan in full sentences makes my priorities clearer and reinforces the use of professional and organized English. After breakfast, I gather my belongings and leave the house. I actively observe the morning environment and describe it aloud. The sun is shining brightly, and the streets are still relatively quiet. I can see my neighbors walking their dogs in the park across the street. The air feels fresh and clean, and the sky is a clear, bright blue. It is a perfect morning to be focused and productive. Practicing these kinds of descriptive sentences in everyday situations is a powerful way to improve overall fluency and the natural, effortless flow of English. On my commute to the office, I listen to a short podcast in English about innovative productivity techniques. I pause the podcast occasionally to summarize the key ideas aloud. The speaker recommends time blocking your schedule, setting a single primary goal for each day, and limiting distractions by turning off non-essential notifications on your devices. I think I can apply several of these tips to my own tasks today, particularly during my deep work session this morning. This habit of combining listening comprehension with immediate spoken summarization helps me internalize new vocabulary and concepts in a professional context. When I arrive at the office, I greet my colleagues in a polite and friendly manner. Good morning, everyone. How are you all today? They respond warmly, and I continue. I hope everyone has a productive and successful day. I am ready to start my tasks, and I am available to support you if you need any assistance. Using polite and complete sentences like these from the very start of the day fosters a positive and collaborative communication environment and builds my confidence in professional settings from the moment I walk in. I settle in at my desk and begin my first task. I say to myself, I will focus completely on this client report and ensure that it is both accurate and clearly written. I will check all the data sources and summarize the key progress points effectively. Speaking my intentions aloud in this way helps me maintain a sharp focus and mental clarity throughout the task. Later, during the team meeting, I make sure to participate actively. When my manager asks for my input on a new initiative, I respond thoughtfully. I think this initiative is well conceived and has strong potential, but I believe we should also consider the resource allocation and plan for a phased rollout to manage the initial workload effectively. I suggest we define specific, measurable milestones for each phase and schedule weekly progress reviews. Using complete and professionally structured sentences ensures that my ideas are understood clearly and encourages productive, focused discussion among the team. After the meeting concludes, I take a short coffee break and talk with a colleague about our personal plans for the upcoming weekend. I say, would you be interested in grabbing a coffee together later this afternoon? I am free anytime after 4 p.m. Practicing these casual social conversations in the workplace is just as important as professional dialogue. It improves my social English and makes all of my interactions feel more natural and genuine. As the workday continues, I move through my tasks, respond to emails, and organize my workspace. I continue to narrate my progress aloud quietly. I have now finished the final draft of the report. I will send it to the project manager for their review. Next, I will check the latest client feedback and begin preparing the slides for tomorrow's important presentation. Speaking aloud in this manner, even when it's just to myself, strengthens both my professional and everyday English skills simultaneously. By mid-afternoon, I take a short walk outside the office building to refresh my mind and get some fresh air. I observe my surroundings and describe them aloud. The trees in the plaza are swaying gently in the breeze. Birds are chirping loudly in the branches, and a few people are sitting on benches, enjoying the sunshine. The sunlight feels warm and energizing on my skin. Narrating these observations is a pleasant and effective way to practice descriptive vocabulary and improve the fluency of my spoken English. When I return to my desk, I finish my remaining tasks, plan out a preliminary agenda for tomorrow in full sentences, and begin to prepare to leave the office for the day. I say to myself, I have completed all of my priority tasks efficiently. Tomorrow, I will continue practicing my English in every interaction and focus on being even more organized and confident in my communication. On my way home, I stop at the grocery store once again and speak aloud quietly while I shop. I need to buy a loaf of whole wheat bread, a carton of almond milk, and some fresh spinach. I will also pick up some avocados and salmon for my dinner tonight. Using English for these simple, routine daily activities reinforces my fluency in a very natural and practical way. At home, I prepare my dinner, narrating each step in full sentences, and then I relax by reading an industry-related article or watching a documentary in English. I summarize the key takeaways aloud, reflect on my day, and make a mental note of what I learned. Today was another productive day. I practiced my English continuously, communicated my points clearly in meetings, and managed my time effectively. I feel confident and ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Before I go to bed, I follow my nightly routine and describe each action aloud as I perform it. I am brushing my teeth carefully for 2 minutes. I am now washing my face with a gentle cleanser. I am changing into my comfortable pajamas. I am setting my alarm for 6:30 a.m. to ensure I have a calm and unrushed morning. I will now take a few slow, deep breaths and think positively about my plans for tomorrow. I am grateful for the experiences of today, and I am ready to continue improving my English. Finally, I lie down in bed reflecting on the day one last time. Every conversation, every task completed, and every interaction was an opportunity to practice English. Speaking in full sentences, expressing my opinions clearly, and narrating the events of my daily life are the habits that help me develop genuine fluency and confidence in a natural way. I will continue this routine tomorrow and every day after. I glance out the window one last time and notice the quiet city street. I narrate softly. The night traffic is moving smoothly. The old trees line the sidewalk, and the moonlight reflects softly off the windows of the buildings across the street. Everyone has settled in for the night, and a sense of peace hangs in the air. I enjoy observing these small, final details while practicing my English. When I had arrived at the office this morning, I made sure to greet the receptionist politely. "Good morning. I hope you're having a pleasant day so far?" She smiled and responded warmly, and I continued, "Thank you. I am looking forward to a productive and collaborative day." Using complete and polite sentences from the start makes all interactions feel more natural and professionally respectful. At my desk, after organizing my workspace, I reviewed my tasks aloud. First, I will check the final progress of the quarterly project and update the summary report. Second, I will reply to any urgent emails that require my immediate attention. Third, I will prepare the final slides for the afternoon client meeting. Finally, I will call my friend to finalize our weekend plans. Narrating my tasks ensures I remember everything and allows me to practice structured, professional English naturally. During the morning, I focused intently on the project report. I narrated my process quietly. I am reviewing the final data set carefully. I will summarize the conclusions clearly and double-check all the calculations to avoid any potential errors. I am making concise notes to include in the executive summary, ensuring everything is transparent and accurate. Speaking aloud while working, even if it's just a whisper, reinforces professional vocabulary and clear, logical sentence construction. Later, a colleague approached me with a question, and I asked politely, "Do you need any assistance with your current task?" They replied that they did, and I responded, "Yes, I can help. Let's work on it together and get it completed efficiently." This kind of simple collaborative interaction is perfect for practicing helpful and professional English in a real-world setting. Before the important team meeting, I took a short mental break and narrated my observations. The office feels calm and focused. Sunlight is streaming through the large windows, and my colleagues are quietly concentrated on their work. I can hear the soft, rhythmic hum of the computers and the occasional sound of the printer. this moment of peace is allowing me to recharge before the next important task. Practicing these descriptive sentences enhances my fluency and my ability to use sensory vocabulary effectively. During the team meeting, I participated actively and contributed my ideas. When sharing my perspective, I said, I believe this proposed approach is strategically sound, but we should also consider the potential market fluctuations and have a contingency plan ready. Assigning clear ownership for each key task and monitoring our progress on a bi-weekly basis will help us achieve our objectives efficiently and effectively. Using complete sentences and professional expressions ensures that my contributions are perceived as confident, clear, and valuable. After the meeting, I sent a follow-up email to the team to summarize our discussion. I narrated aloud while I was writing it. I am now drafting an email to the entire team. I will summarize the key decisions we made, clearly list the assigned responsibilities, and include the agreed-upon deadlines for the next milestones. I will review the entire email once more to ensure the tone is polite and the message is perfectly clear before I press send. This practice of simultaneous writing and narration strengthens my written communication skills and reinforces correct spoken sentence patterns. Later in the afternoon, I took another short walk outside. I described the surroundings. The trees are swaying gently in the cool breeze. Birds are singing their evening songs. People are walking their dogs, chatting with one another, and enjoying the last of the daytime sunshine. Observing and describing these everyday details is a constant and enjoyable way to practice descriptive vocabulary and fluent natural speech. When I returned to my desk, I completed my final tasks and planned the next day's agenda. I narrated, I have finished all the project work I intended to complete today. I will now review tomorrow's task list, organize my physical and digital workspace, and prepare the necessary documents for the morning's first meeting. Planning my next steps using full sentences helps me stay organized and practice forward-looking, professional English naturally. As the workday ended, I packed my bag and left the office. I narrated my commute home. The traffic is light this evening. I can see people walking home from work and children playing in the park. I will use this quiet time to think in English and reflect on today's achievements. Arriving home, I prepared a light snack and narrated the steps. I am making a quick fruit salad. I am washing the strawberries, an apple, and a banana. I am cutting them into uniform pieces and mixing them together in a bowl. I am adding a small squeeze of lemon juice to keep the fruit looking fresh, and I will sprinkle a few fresh mint leaves on top for a burst of flavor. Speaking the steps aloud, even for a simple task, reinforces my ability to explain processes clearly and practice practical, daily life vocabulary. Afterward, I relaxed and called my friend Sophia. I started our conversation politely. "Hi, Sophia, how was your day?" She responded, and I continued. I had a productive day at work and managed to practice my English throughout all of my tasks. What about you? We discussed various topics, from books and movies to our upcoming weekend plans, using complete sentences to express our opinions and ask questions in a natural, flowing way. Before going to bed, I reflected on the day aloud one final time. I had a productive and enjoyable day. I completed all my primary work tasks, practiced English continuously, communicated clearly with my colleagues and friends, and organized my plans for tomorrow. Speaking in full sentences and narrating my daily life are the habits that are helping me improve my fluency, vocabulary, and overall confidence. Finally, I followed my bedtime routine while speaking aloud. I am brushing my teeth thoroughly. I am washing my face with cool water. I am putting on my comfortable pajamas. I am setting the alarm for the morning. I will take a few deep, calming breaths and think about tomorrow's positive opportunities. I am grateful for today and excited to continue practicing my English. Speaking these simple, practical sentences every night reinforces my confidence and makes natural expression in daily life feel effortless and automatic. I had a fulfilling and productive day. I completed tasks efficiently, communicated clearly with colleagues and friends, and practiced English through speaking, reading, and writing. I observed my surroundings, narrated actions, and expressed opinions. Every small interaction was an opportunity to improve my fluency and confidence. Finally, I complete my nightly routine while speaking aloud. I am brushing my teeth, washing my face, putting on pajamas, and setting the alarm for tomorrow. I will take a few deep breaths and review my plans for the next day. I feel proud of today's efforts and motivated to continue practicing English tomorrow. Narrate each action aloud. I am washing the dishes carefully and placing them on the drying rack. I wipe the countertops to remove any crumbs or spills. I put leftovers in containers and store them in the refrigerator. Keeping the kitchen clean helps me feel organized, and describing these actions in English reinforces practical vocabulary and complete sentence structures. After tidying the kitchen, I relax in the living room. I narrate my thoughts. I feel calm and content. Today was productive, and I practiced English consistently in different situations, work, social interactions, and personal routines. Speaking aloud about daily activities strengthens fluency, vocabulary, and confidence. I decide to spend a few minutes reading an article online. I summarize aloud. The article discusses the benefits of lifelong learning and suggests dedicating time each day to acquiring new skills. It emphasizes curiosity, consistency, and applying knowledge in practical ways. I think these principles are motivating and easy to incorporate into daily life. Practicing summaries in full sentences helps me develop clarity and natural expression in English. Before going to bed, I prepare my clothes and bag for tomorrow. I narrate. I am folding my clothes and placing them neatly in the wardrobe. I am checking my bag to make sure I have my laptop, notebook, and charger ready. I will set the alarm for 7 a.m. and get a good night's sleep to start the next day refreshed. Finally, I reflect on the day aloud. I am proud of my efforts today. I communicated clearly, completed my tasks efficiently, practiced English in professional, social, and personal contexts, and observed my surroundings in detail. Tomorrow I will continue this routine, speak in full sentences, and build my fluency and confidence further. I feel grateful for today and motivated for tomorrow. I continue practicing English by narrating my actions aloud as I do daily tasks. I start with the kitchen. I am washing the dishes carefully using warm water and soap. I scrub each plate, cup, and utensil, making sure they are clean. After washing, I dry every item with a clean towel. Then I wipe the counter to remove crumbs or spills. Finally, I put all the dishes and utensils in their correct places. This keeps the kitchen organized. Even simple tasks like washing dishes can be a great chance to practice English. By speaking in full sentences, I can improve my fluency and confidence while doing everyday chores. After finishing in the kitchen, I move to the living room to relax and practice casual conversation skills. I decide to call my friend Sophia. I start by saying, "Hi, Sophia. How is your evening going?" She answers, "Hi, Jara. I am relaxing at home and reading a book." "How about you?" I reply. "I just finished cooking dinner and tidying up. I wanted to call and chat with you before I start my evening routine." During our conversation, we ask questions and share opinions using full sentences. I ask, "Have you read any interesting books recently?" She says, "Yes, I am reading a novel about personal growth and discovery. It is very engaging and thought-provoking." I respond, "That sounds interesting." I enjoy books that offer new perspectives because they help me learn and see the world differently. Talking with friends in full sentences is excellent practice for speaking naturally. It helps me respond fluently and express ideas clearly. After the call, I return to my work. I review notes for a project I am working on and narrate my steps. I say aloud, I am reviewing the client's requirements to make sure I understand all the details. I will create a checklist to track each task and confirm it is complete. Being thorough is important when preparing reports. Speaking about studying or reviewing tasks in complete sentences strengthens my ability to communicate formally and clearly, which is very useful for professional work. Later in the evening, I prepare a small snack while practicing English. I decide to make a fruit smoothie. I narrate each step. First, I wash the strawberries, apples, and bananas carefully. Then, I cut them into small pieces. I place all the fruit in a blender and add some water and a little honey. I blend until the mixture is smooth and pour it into a glass. Finally, I drink it slowly to enjoy the flavor. Talking through steps aloud helps me describe processes clearly. It also improves vocabulary related to food, cooking, and daily routines. While having my smoothie, I reflect on my day. I speak aloud. Today, I completed my work tasks, organized my home, practiced English during daily activities, and spent time chatting with friends. Each task was an opportunity to use complete sentences, express opinions, and speak naturally. I feel confident about my progress and excited to continue practicing tomorrow. Narrating my thoughts in full sentences strengthens my fluency and makes me comfortable using English in different situations. Finally, I prepare for bed. I brush my teeth, wash my face, and put on pajamas while speaking the actions aloud. I set the alarm and say, I am ready to sleep now. Tomorrow, I will continue using English in all my activities from morning routines to work and social conversations. Speaking practical sentences at night reinforces natural communication and confidence in daily life. I feel grateful for a productive day and look forward to practicing more English tomorrow. I continue practicing English while preparing a snack. I decide to make a fruit smoothie. First, I peel a banana and cut it into small pieces. Then, I put the banana in a blender. I add a handful of strawberries and a cup of yogurt. I blend everything until it becomes smooth. Finally, I pour the smoothie into a glass, take a sip, and enjoy the fresh taste. Speaking aloud while describing simple steps every day helps me improve my ability to give instructions and describe actions naturally. After finishing the smoothie, I sit on the sofa and read an article about personal development. I read the sentences aloud. The article explains why it is important to set daily goals and reflect on achievements. It suggests writing down tasks, planning breaks, and reviewing progress regularly. It also emphasizes managing time wisely and staying focused on priorities. After reading, I summarize the article in my own words. I say aloud, "This article is very practical. Setting goals and reflecting on daily achievements helps me stay motivated and productive. I can apply these strategies at work and in my personal life." Using full sentences to summarize information is excellent practice for advanced English learners. It helps improve understanding and the ability to express ideas clearly. Later in the evening, I decide to call my parents. I greet them politely. "Good evening, Mom and Dad. I hope you had a pleasant day." My mother replies, "Good evening, Jara." "Yes, it was calm and relaxing. How was your day?" I respond, "My day was productive and fulfilling. I completed all my work tasks, practiced English through conversations, and spent some time planning for the weekend." During the conversation, I use full sentences to explain my plans and feelings. I tell them, "I am planning to visit you this weekend. I will bring fresh fruits and help with gardening. I am looking forward to spending quality time with you." Speaking politely and thoughtfully with family helps me practice natural English. It also improves my ability to express intentions, describe actions, and share feelings in everyday life. After finishing the call, I reflect on my day. I speak aloud. Today I completed my tasks, practiced English, read a helpful article, and talked with my family. I used full sentences in every activity, which makes me more confident and fluent. I feel satisfied with my accomplishments and ready to continue practicing tomorrow. Reflecting in full sentences is a useful way to reinforce learning. It helps me internalize vocabulary, sentence structures, and natural expressions. Before going to bed, I prepare for sleep. I brush my teeth, wash my face, and put on pajamas. While narrating the steps, I say I am ready to sleep now. Tomorrow, I will continue using English in all my routines from morning activities to work and conversations with others. Speaking simple, practical sentences at the end of the day reinforces confidence, fluency, and natural communication in daily life. By doing this daily, I practice English in real-life situations. Every task from cooking and cleaning to reading and talking with family or friends becomes a chance to speak in full sentences. This method helps me improve vocabulary, sentence flow, and overall communication skills. It also makes me feel confident about using English naturally in different situations. I feel proud of my progress and excited to continue learning every day. After the call with my parents, I decide to do a short reflection exercise in English. I say aloud, "Today was a productive day. I managed my work efficiently, communicated clearly with colleagues and clients, and practiced English in many situations. I also stayed connected with friends and family. I feel confident in my ability to express myself in full sentences and handle different situations naturally." Reflection exercises like this help me remember advanced sentence structures, useful vocabulary, and natural conversation patterns. Next, I practice some practical sentences for real-life situations. I imagine being in a restaurant. I say, "I would like to order the grilled chicken with a side of vegetables, please. Could you recommend a drink that goes well with this dish? Thank you for your suggestion." Then I imagine asking for directions. "Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the nearest subway station? Is it within walking distance, or should I take a bus?" Practicing sentences like these aloud every evening helps me build confidence, increase vocabulary, and speak fluently in daily situations. After practicing, I prepare for bed while narrating my actions. I say I am brushing my teeth and rinsing my mouth thoroughly. I am putting on comfortable pajamas. I am adjusting my pillow and blanket to sleep comfortably. I am turning off the lights and setting the alarm for tomorrow morning. I am taking a few deep breaths and reflecting on my day. I feel satisfied and ready for tomorrow. Speaking aloud during the night routine helps me practice sentence patterns, useful words, and natural English. Before closing my eyes, I review the day in full sentences. I say, "I am proud of my efforts today. I completed all my tasks, practiced English consistently, and had meaningful conversations with friends and family. I used complete sentences in all situations and spoke clearly and confidently." Reflecting on the day aloud helps me remember what I learned, reinforce vocabulary, and improve my fluency. I also think about tomorrow. I say aloud, "Tomorrow is a new day. I will continue using English in all my routines at work and with friends and family. And I will speak in full sentences, observe details, and describe my actions naturally. I will practice new vocabulary and expressions to sound even more confident. By doing this every evening, I use English in real life. Every task from work to social interactions and personal routines becomes a chance to practice. Speaking in full sentences during reflection, imagination, and daily routines helps me feel fluent, confident, and natural in English. I go to sleep feeling satisfied, motivated, and ready to continue improving tomorrow. I practice English in professional, casual, and personal situations. I pay attention to my surroundings and describe my daily activities clearly. I am committed to doing this every day to improve my fluency and confidence. Reflecting on my day helps me think in English and use advanced language skills in real life. Finally, I lie down and prepare to sleep. Speaking aloud in my mind, I say, "I will rest now to be fully energized for tomorrow. I will continue practicing English in all my interactions at work and at home. I am thankful for the chance to learn and improve. I am confident that practicing every day will make my English more natural, fluent, and expressive. Even quiet moments like preparing for sleep are a good time to practice full sentences. Speaking in complete sentences strengthens my English and helps me think naturally in the language. The next morning, I wake up feeling refreshed and ready for a new day. I stretch and say to myself, "Today is a new opportunity to improve my English and complete my tasks efficiently." I go to the bathroom and describe my actions aloud. I say I am brushing my teeth thoroughly and rinsing my mouth. I am washing my face with cold water to feel awake. I am combing my hair neatly and checking my appearance in the mirror to make sure I look presentable. Observing and describing my daily actions helps me practice vocabulary and sentence structures naturally. After getting dressed, I walk to the kitchen to prepare breakfast. I narrate each step. I say I am making oatmeal with fresh fruits. First, I pour oats into a small pot and add water. I turn on the stove and stir the oats while they cook. I slice a banana and strawberries and add them to the oatmeal. Finally, I sprinkle some cinnamon and nuts on top and serve it in a bowl with a cup of green tea. Eating breakfast while describing it aloud is a simple and effective way to practice speaking in full sentences every day. While eating, I continue speaking aloud. I say, "This oatmeal is warm and delicious. The fruits add natural sweetness, and the cinnamon gives it a nice flavor. I feel energized and ready to start my day." Practicing descriptive sentences while performing routine activities helps me use English naturally in real-life situations. After breakfast, I pack my bag for work and describe each item. I say I am bringing my laptop, charger, notebook, and pen. I am also packing my lunch, which I prepared yesterday. I am checking my phone for traffic updates. The traffic looks light today, so I should reach the office quickly. I will use the commute time to review notes for my meeting. Speaking aloud about small, practical details every day makes my English clear, organized, and fluent. Before leaving home, I take a moment to observe my surroundings. I describe what I see. The streets are calm this morning. I notice a few people walking their dogs. The sun is shining and the birds are singing. I feel calm and ready for the day ahead. Practicing these observations in full sentences improves my ability to describe people, places, and actions naturally. As I eat breakfast, I speak aloud about my plans for the morning. I say, "First, I will check the progress of the new client project. Second, I will reply to all urgent emails that arrived overnight. Third, I will organize the documents needed for the team meeting later today. Fourth, I will make a short list of things to buy from the grocery store after work." Speaking my plans in full sentences helps me practice English while organizing my day efficiently. Before leaving home, I check the weather and describe it aloud. It is slightly cloudy outside, but there is no rain. I will wear a light jacket just in case. I notice the streets are quiet and I can hear birds singing near the park. It looks like it will be a pleasant day for commuting. Observing and describing what I see improves my descriptive skills and helps me communicate naturally in real life. On the way to work, I take the bus and watch the people around me. I describe what they're doing. A man is reading a book carefully and sometimes looks out the window. A woman is listening to music with her headphones and tapping her fingers to the rhythm. Two friends are talking and laughing quietly. The bus is moving smoothly, and I can feel the gentle vibrations as it drives along the road. Describing people and their actions in full sentences is excellent practice because it strengthens vocabulary and observation skills. When I arrive at the office, I greet my colleagues politely. "Good morning, everyone. I hope you had a restful night and are ready for a productive day." My colleague Mark smiles and says, "Good morning, Jara. Are you prepared for the meeting later today?" I answer, "Yes, I reviewed the agenda and prepared my points carefully. I think the discussion will be very productive." Using complete sentences and professional greetings helps me sound confident and clear. At my desk, I begin checking emails. I narrate aloud as I work. I am opening the first email. It is from a client asking for a progress update. I will reply politely and provide the necessary details. I am organizing my inbox to keep track of urgent messages. Next, I will review the project documents to ensure everything is ready for the meeting. Speaking this way keeps my English practice practical and focused on work situations. Later, I prepare for the team meeting. I look over the agenda and make notes aloud. We will start with client feedback. Then we will discuss the next steps and assign responsibilities. I have prepared points to share about the project timeline and key metrics. I will speak clearly and provide examples to support my ideas. Practicing full sentences in advance helps me feel confident and professional during meetings. By mid-morning, I take a short break and walk to the cafeteria. I notice the environment and describe it. The cafeteria is busy today. People are talking and laughing. I can smell fresh coffee and hear the hum of conversation around me. Describing surroundings helps learners practice vocabulary and speak naturally about daily life. I start my day by greeting my colleagues and doing some small talk. Speaking politely in full sentences helps me sound confident and professional. Then I head to the kitchen to prepare breakfast and describe each step aloud. I am making scrambled eggs with spinach. First, I crack 2 eggs into a bowl and whisk them gently. Then I add a pinch of salt and some chopped spinach. I heat the pan, pour the egg mixture, and stir until the eggs are fully cooked. Finally, I place the eggs on a plate and pour a small glass of orange juice to drink with breakfast. While eating, I plan my morning and speak in full sentences. I will finish the work project today. I will attend the team meeting in the afternoon. I will call my friend to confirm our weekend plans. Talking about my intentions and routines helps me practice thinking in English naturally and forming sentences correctly. After breakfast, I pack my bag for work and narrate my actions. I am bringing my laptop, charger, notebook, and a pen. I am also packing my lunch, which I prepared yesterday to save time today. I check the traffic app on my phone and say aloud, "It looks like the traffic is light today." I should reach the office quickly. I will use my commute time to review notes for the meeting. Speaking about these small practical details helps me practice complete sentences that are useful every day. On the bus, I observe the people around me. A young man is reading a newspaper. He seems very focused. I wonder which article is interesting to him today. I notice a woman listening to music with headphones. She is tapping her fingers to the rhythm. She looks relaxed. 2 friends are talking quietly and laughing. They seem happy and are enjoying their conversation. Describing people and actions in full sentences is excellent practice because it improves vocabulary, observation, and fluency. When I arrive at the office, I greet my colleagues. "Good morning, everyone. I hope you had a good night." My colleague Mark smiles and says, "Good morning, Jara. Are you ready for the meeting later today?" I respond, "Yes." I reviewed the agenda and prepared my points. I hope our discussion will be productive. Using full sentences and greetings and work interactions helps me sound confident and professional. I start checking emails and narrate my work aloud. I am opening the first email. It is from a client asking for a project update. I will reply politely and give all the necessary details. Next, I will organize the documents for the team meeting. Speaking while working helps me practice professional English naturally. Later, I prepare for the meeting and narrate my notes. We will start with client feedback. Then, we will discuss next steps and assign tasks. I have prepared points about the project timeline and key metrics. I will explain clearly and give examples to support my ideas. Practicing sentences ahead of time makes me confident during meetings and helps me communicate clearly. By mid-morning, I take a short break and walk to the cafeteria. The cafeteria is busy. People are talking and laughing. I can smell fresh coffee. The hum of conversation is pleasant. Describing what I see and hear helps me practice English and improves my ability to speak naturally about everyday life.